Is the ranking member, Mr. Lucas, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Dr. Robinson, in your testimony, you highlight that clinical trials have shown that vaccines are stockpiled, remain highly effective even after 10 years in storage. How has BARDA worked with the industry to improve the shelf life of stockpile vaccines and other countermeasures in the event of a pandemic emergency?
Thank you for the question, sir. We started in 2005 building our stockpiles, for pandemic influenza. These would be to treat those individuals that are highly vulnerable, at high risk, and our critical workforce to make sure the country still operates in a severe pandemic. So around 27 million doses. And that was actually for all the different strains that have been shown to have pandemic potential, from the H5N1 viruses, the H7N1 I just described a moment ago, to the new waves of H7N9 viruses. Through the IRAT process that the CDC has with BARDA, FDA, and NIH, we actually meet twice a year, go over these strains to see which ones are available. But in 2015, we said that, and it was a question that actually came up from the members here, is the vaccine that you have stockpiled in these companies, is it still good? And the answer was, well, we know that the potency assays look really good, but we said that's not enough. So we went and actually did a clinical study using newly made H5N1 virus vaccine against vaccine that had been made 10 years before. And the results of that in the BRIGHT study, which have been published, show that they were equal, and they were still highly immunogenic and would could be used without or with an adjuvant to protect those individuals.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Watkins, you suggest that the use of artificial intelligence or machine learning could be a useful tool to identify outbreaks early and encourage individuals to get vaccinated. Can you elaborate further on how this technology could be utilized?
Sure, thank you for that question. Public health does have a lot of data. It's not interconnected, and I think that the ability to look at birth and death certificates and immunization rates and existing comorbidities and combine that with census tract information and behavior information and information on poverty and immigration status, all of those other data sets helps us better understand at the community level what are the hesitations or what are the limitations to vaccination or access to health care or maybe language barriers. And when we're able to use all the data that Google has at their hands and we don't, I think we're better able to target where efforts should go. As an example, during the opioid crisis, we and other states funded by CDC have been looking at vulnerability assessments. So we're looking at where are our deaths happening due to overdose? Where are babies being born with neonatal abstinence syndrome? Where are rates of hepatitis C and HIV increasing? And where does that overlay with poverty and some other statistics? That's use of big data in a state to really look at vulnerabilities and target where we should be working. We could be doing that with many more things had we the technology and interconnection.
Thank you, Doctor. Yield back.